Okay, let's talk protractors. Not too much to talk to here. That's a C. Protractors. So, a little bit about a protractor. So, what is a protractor? So, officially called GTA 5-02-012. This is the coordinate scale and protractor. We're just going to call it a protractor from here on out. This is the issued version right here. They make some commercial variants like this right here, a little bit cheaper. It's about half the thickness, much more flexible, much harder to draw a straight edge on it. So we're going to stick with the issued protractor and talk a little bit about it. So first things first, when you get your protractor, inspect it carefully. You're looking for a couple of things. Number one, you want to make sure you've got a straight edge on the sides. If it was die cut incorrectly, it'll be off. And then you really want to pay attention around here, around the 1 to 50,000, where this little triangle is cut out. So if you notice here where this one's cut, and then where the line is, if you look real close, you can see that there's a difference there. The cut line is not right against the index line, and that's a problem. Contrast that with this one where it's cut right on the line, and that difference between that where that cut line is and where the actual index line is on this is about 50 meters. It's about a 50-meter difference. So if you were using this on a map and you were trying to get a marking your spot with your pencil, you'd be automatically 50 meters off. Now you get a big fat unsharpened pencil. Now you're another 50 meters off. You hold that thing a little bit off, and before you know it, you're like 150, 200 meters off. So anytime you can get a little more accuracy, get a little bit more of that margin for error out as possible, the better. So look for a protractor where that cut line is directly on that index line. That's the first thing. The next thing is the hole in the center. So again, these are both issued protractors. One is the and one is done well, and one is not done well. So there can be a hole in the center at the crosshairs. This one, you can see there's an indentation there, but no hole. Didn't go all the way through. So now you have to make your own hole. Not a big deal. Take a hot needle, poke it through very, very carefully. It melts very quickly, creates a big gouge. You want a small hole as possible. So this is the good one. And then this one also has the hole in it. You can see that a hole goes all the way through. And that's good. Just make certain that hole is centered on that crosshairs. Make sure that hole is centered on the crosshairs. And the reason that is because if we're smart, we'll do a modification to our protractor like this. So this is a good one. This one has the no gap between the cut line and the index line. That hole was centered, and what that does is it allows me to put a piece of 550 gut through it. Okay, so what's that look like? Okay, so here's 550 cord. You can gut it, and in the center are 7 strands, and this one, so this is issued 550 standard, and all 7 strands are the same color. They're all white. Some commercial variants like this have multicolored, and they even make some that have like spectra cord in the middle, which is super strong, like it's like 150 test. So this commercial has a couple of different color strands. It has this fluorescent yellow, has a light yellow, and this red one. Use one of those so you can see it under different light conditions. I use the fluorescent yellow one here. You can see how bright that is. Easy to see when you're fatigued. And what happens is when you are measuring an azimuth on your map, and you want to take just a quick measurement without drawing a line, you can simply pull this cord taut, put it over your, make sure that this is centered and correctly oriented. Go to this intersection here, and now when you pull that taut, that line comes right across, and that can give you your azimuth right there. So you don't have to draw a separate line. Don't recommend this for every measurement when you have the opportunity to lay it down flat and draw a line best. But this is just a quick field expedient way of doing that. Now, don't fall for the trick of, so this is a one that I modified. Let's take a look at this. So you take a look at this protractor and this protractor. Notice the size difference. I trimmed off the excess. I trimmed off the Mills scale on the perimeter. That's for much more accuracy for fires, way more accurate than you can use. So I trimmed it. Now, so you can see here where I trimmed it, I came off the line a little bit. So if you are going to make your modifications, when you're using the needle to bore that hole in the middle, be very, very careful. And then when you're making your cuts, be very, very careful. You can use something like this. This is just a crafting cut tools. You can slide that in and you can get very accurate cuts this way, or just a razor blade and a straight edge, preferably a metal straight edge. Just make certain that you're doing it very, very careful. Don't do it with a pair of scissors. So if you notice here, this line here, super accurate. That one I did with the craft tool, and then this one and this one I cut with scissors, and you can see how far they are off. And because I did them with scissors, they're not truly straight. Whereas on a factory edge, it's straight, and on the one that I cut very clearly with the craft tool, very straight. So I can use that now to draw on my map. So just some things to keep in mind. And then the last thing I'll warn you about is if you're going to do the string modification, don't tie a single piece of string with two big knots on the end. These are called Mongolian booger knots, or big giant knots, and they're great because it won't pull through that little hole. But when I lay that down on the map to get an accurate measurement, now I've got to contend with this big booger knot right underneath my crosshairs. So always best just to tie a loop, do a quick fixed loop, make certain it's not too long so you don't have too much cord to deal with. This one is